So, welcome back to Africa Events Connect. I'm your host and producer, Projeni Pather, and having worked across exhibitions and conferences and lots of brand activations for many years, I've seen how dynamic and sometimes demanding this industry can be, actually often demanding, to be honest. So today I'm really pleased to be joined by somebody who's breaking new ground in her unique way, and that's Tamsin Gallick. She's the founder of Events by Her, a platform created to connect, empower, and elevate women in the event space. She also leads as co-founder of 144 Collective, known for bold, storytelling-driven creative work. Today, we're going to explore the story behind Events by Her, the lessons she's learned, and her vision for women in the African events industry. But first, let's dive straight into it. Welcome, Tamsin.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolute pleasure. I'm so excited to have this conversation with you. But to kickstart this, tell me, in one sentence, right? What excites you most about the events industry right now, and what keeps you up at night?
Goodness. What doesn't keep us up tonight as coordinators? I think for me, what makes me most excited about the industry at the moment is the drive for human connection. I think that there was a big drive post-COVID and everything that happened with in-person, and we're done with screens. And I think the next big drive is going to be real. Mm-hmm. It's not AI-based. It's not AI-built. It's real. It's real human connection. I want that honest point of contact with someone. I want to know that you are a real person. I'm not getting an email that's been automated by AI from a salesperson that probably may not even exist, but I actually want to speak to a human being and they know what they're doing. Absolutely. So I think the core in that is always going to be events, whether it's on a personal perspective, whether it's on a professional perspective. Events is always at the core of that. Meeting and greeting 30 people or going for walkabouts, all of that sort of stuff. It's all connected together. And I think that makes me really excited because that means the boom we're going to have is hopefully going to be even bigger and echo even further. And even though the AI is going to disrupt this industry quite significantly, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think the human connection is always going to want to be there.
So is the AI is one of those things that would keep you up at night?
I think AI is definitely one of the things that keep me up at night, but not in a concerning way. Mm-hmm. I think if we learn how to use it, AI is a tool, it's not a replacement. And a lot of people are going to learn that they've replaced something and we have a hole now and it's not quite up to standard as what it should be. Mm-hmm. But if we, as the event professionals, become experts in AI, we're not going anywhere because who else is going to run it? Yeah. It's very difficult to say to someone, give me a production schedule or get AI to write your production schedule if you don't already know how to write a production schedule. If you don't know all the ramifications of load-in and health and safety and, okay, well, carpeting has to start from that corner to that corner and then technical can come in, oh, wait, we've got draping. If you don't know how to do that, yes, you can tell AI, build it for me. Yeah. And I have, and it's fabulous. It takes like 2 seconds and it's so great. But there's only so much it can do. And if you make it rather your tool as opposed to your replacement, yes, then you're that much more powerful because now instead of just having an Excel spreadsheet in your back pocket, you've got all of the world's data in your back pocket.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Which, if you use to your advantage, will only make you better at what you do.
So, tell me, what's the boldest risk you've taken in your career that ended up shaping the way you work today?
I think that's the reason why I'm sitting here. I think my boldest risk has been being brave enough to go out on my own, being brave enough to see something and go, I surely couldn't do that. Like that must exist somewhere else in the world. Like that can't just be something that isn't already there. And realizing, wait, it's not. Mm-hmm. Maybe I could figure this out and go build it. Like I'm willing to try. And I think that's been my biggest risk at the moment. And so far, so good. I'm sitting here.
Well, we're talking about, inspiration and industry gaps, right, that get us to certain places in life. So every great problem, or every great platform actually starts with a problem, right? And I mean, in my own career, I've seen lots of gaps and where women's voices were always given the space they weren't always given the space they deserved, actually. And it often pushes us to create opportunities where none existed before
100%.
because of our experiences and the problems we see through those experiences. So tell us, what was the spark behind creating Events by Her?
So what kind of triggered the thought process is we were in the midst of starting 144 Collective because that came first.
So tell us,
And-
before we go
yes,
there,
before we
maybe
go there.
let's
Yes.
let's set the tone. Tell us about 144 Collective so people understand what your background and
connection.
experience is there.
So experience-wise, I've dabbled for years in events and in agencies, but always for someone else. I had a fantastic opportunity to partner with my business partner, Demetrius Van Zyl, who is a brilliant creative director. And he was sort of like, I'm going to be brave enough if you're going to be brave enough. Let's go try do this thing. And I'm like, oh, okay. Sure, let's go do this thing. So we decided, let's start our own agency. Let's start something that we then can have a little bit more control over. And it wears 3 hats. So either we're freelancing, so you're working with us, so you're working with myself as an event producer or himself as a creative director, or we're working with other agencies. So we're happy to collaborate and come in. We will wear your brand, love on your brand, showcase who you are and what you are. It's yours. We get that 100%. We want you to shine. We want to do the work. We want to do really cool events at the end of the day. That's what makes me excited. And the third thing is either having our own clients ourselves, so working directly with the end client, and or starting our own properties. So here's something that's ours that we can kind of go, this is how we want to build it. And then we bring in the sponsors and all of that. And that's then the relationship that we then manage.
Okay.
And through that thought process was, in order to expand and grow, and if we do have clients who need to bring in people to help us execute, I sort of looked at my pool of people who I speak to, and they were all the same people from my agency that I had worked at previously.
Okay.
And I realized I'm going to constantly butt against a wall if I don't expand who that is. But where do I go to expand? Where do I go to improve who I know? And from my experience, if you put all girls in a room, you're going to have a really, really good conversation because we go so much deeper than just surface level.
Yep.
In a matter of, I can meet you for 2 seconds, and after 2 seconds of having a chat with a girl, and it's just us on a phone call or in a meeting, we're having a very different conversation. Very, very personable, very specific. We will get everything done that we need to get done. We'll have a good giggle on the crazy stuff we need to have a giggle about. But your conversation is a lot more in depth, and the relationship and connection that girls form hits a spark almost instantly. I think when it's in a mixed space, in a mixed room, it's a different language. It becomes a lot more, okay, we need to rise to the occasion. We need to maintain that professional standard. Whereas if it's girls in the room, it becomes a little bit more relaxed. We're still maintaining professional standard, but we're talking about how do you juggle this industry with a husband or with kids or with, what shoes are you wearing when you're on site? Because my feet are killing me and I'm pretty sure I've bought the wrong ones. Like, what are you using lately? Or what do you buy or don't buy? Or, does your suitcase look like my suitcase? Like, we're going to a really week-long funeral because it's nothing but show black combined with cable ties and gaffer tape. Because that's usually what my suitcases look like. So it's that community and connection. And that's sort of what born the idea of all the ladies I have worked with in bringing in freelancers into my agency. It's not necessarily just because they're female. Yeah. It's because they're brilliant at what they do. And this industry is fabulous at making females brilliant at what they do. And because we're so adept at being so hyper-organized, that's where our brains lean to. It gravitates to us that much more, and it makes us that much better at what we do. So it was natural to me. It wasn't even I must do this because it was, well, that's where I've seen the best talent sitting already. I want to know more of them. They've got to be out there. I've got to be able to get access to them. How do we get access to them? Let's build it.
So what are the gaps do you feel that women especially were facing that required them to be drawn into Events by Her?
I think for me, from a gaps perspective, there's so many agencies that are male-owned, with 99.9% of the work being done by the females in the room. Decisions are being made above their heads where they have input, but it's almost like you're arm wrestling because you need to make your voice that much louder to be heard and to be taken seriously. And I've had it multiple times over where I'll have an idea and I'll say the idea, and a male counterpart, literally 30 seconds later, will have this say the same thing. Oh, that's such a good idea. Why didn't I think of that? I've been saying that. So I think for me is having your voice elevated by having fellow women give you that elevation. If I'm in a room and there's mixed people at the table, you have something to say. I'm going to pay a lot more attention. I'm going to give you the opportunity. And my hope is, as a female in Events by Her, you're going to give me just as much opportunity. So automatically, because we have this sort of camaraderie between ourselves, we're going to elevate each other up that much more. And I'm going to recommend you for work. And I think the power of that recommendation is, we all know the hunt of HR and CVs and, I've got to Google something. And all clients ask me for this weird thing I've never been asked for. And I haven't done that yet. I don't know where to find 300, of paper flowers. Where do I go? My florist doesn't know what to do. Who do I phone?
So what's the difference between Events by Her and just a community group on WhatsApp?
So one part is it's very much a community group on WhatsApp. But for me, what I want Events by Her to do, and I think there's no reason why it couldn't, is I want everybody on it. I want all of the girls across all of the different realms involved in it. And from a community perspective, it's in-person meets. So we're doing engagements in person.
So it's
there's a level up from just taking it to a WhatsApp group. The WhatsApp group is fantastic.
Yeah.
And I know there's little silos of WhatsApp group. And I think for me is breaking down those silos. It's amazing at how, if you look at our circles, oh, I know so-and-so. Oh, but do you know so-and-so? Because they know each other very well. Oh, I've never worked with her.
Okay.
So it's breaking down those silos of only your 10 people in your WhatsApp group or your 20 people in your WhatsApp group. Okay, we'll combine your WhatsApp group and that one and that one and that one. Now we're all in the same room having the same conversation. We all have a louder voice to improve how the industry is being run, to say things that I didn't like this, I don't appreciate how that was run, or why does this happen in the world that we live in? How can we fix it? We're collectively having a voice. We're coming together as a group, which I think holds a lot more gravitas than just being a WhatsApp group.
So how does the membership work on Events by Her? Because I'm assuming it's being driven by membership, right?
Correct. So membership, essentially, I have built it in such a way to make it as the equivalent of a very fancy cup of coffee a month. I wanted it to, you've got no excuse to join this. There's no barriers in place. It's essentially covering what we need to cover. But how membership works is you have an individual membership, so you can come in as a freelancer, or if you're just a designer or you're an animator, but you're on your own legs. You're not necessarily associated with a company. Or if you are with a company, but you want to come in as yourself, you can come in and be part of it. And then we have this sort of company corporate style, which is then for everyone from a corporate leg of it, as well as the agency, as well as you're in a catering company, you're in a printing design company, you're in a stand builder. Then you get to showcase your business as well.
Right.
So it's a little bit of showcasing and advertisement for yourself, as well as then for the individuals. So the platform itself sits under the realm of showcase, talk about what you do, advertise yourself, and then the WhatsApp group is, this is the panic stations, I need help, quick sticks. I need something now. I'm looking for a producer for tomorrow. That kind of solving moment. So they're currently straddling two very different requirements, and that's essentially how we're building the platform side of it, if that makes any sense.
And how will you use this platform to help them grow their businesses?
So again, a couple of folds to that in terms of growth. One is exposure. So the more people you know, the more exposed you be. The more recommendations, if I know I'm going to recommend you, I'm going to recommend you to that many more people.
I see.
If I have you in high esteem, I might not know you, but you were recommended by someone else. I have that person in high esteem, which means I can trust the recommendation. Therefore, I'm going to book you. So it's that elevation and growth in terms of who are we, what are we, how are we, let's grow and let's improve everybody's world. And then very much so leaning quite heavily, I think, on one of the other things that keeps me up at night is our critical skills seem to really be lacking.
Yes.
I'm walking into spaces where venues are impressed by my production schedule. And I'm like, I built that at 11 o'clock last night. Why are we, that was basic. And they're like, oh no, we don't get to see those sorts of things anymore. What do we, how How are we doing things? Well, who's not giving you things? I've had it when we've been on site where, for example, Dimitri's been a show caller and the agency's not been present at all. It's just up to the suppliers. There's no producer on site. There's no one managing it. It's just up to the suppliers. So I think from a critical skills perspective, lots of things got shuffled up during COVID. There's lots of senior producers were retrenched or left or became, decided to, this stress is too much, I'm going to go somewhere else. And because of that, we have a significant amount of very enthusiastic junior workforces coming in.
Okay.
But they don't have the skills that they need to have to know how to execute events. They're coming in with fabulous marketing degrees and all of that side of knowledge.
Yeah.
But that is a very different thought process when it comes to event execution. So how do we fix that? How do we improve our basic skills, our basic computer management? Why are we building show scripts in Word? It's silly little things like that, but I think quite transformative in terms of if everybody is improved as a whole, it improves the industry skill set.
Yes.
Which means the level of events that we're executing are therefore improved as well. It has a knock-on effect.
Absolutely.
So I would love to build and basically have people coming through, and you can join like a webinar.
Okay.
It's an hour-long session where you can sit with me and I will teach you Excel skills. Or you can sit with a registration expert, someone like Lana Jackson, and she will say, this is how you need to run registration. These are the things we've learned and we've recommended. You don't necessarily need to bring us in now, but as you're pre-building, think of these things. Educate your clients like this. Or
So
go
will
to a
you-
client and say, let's educate you on these things.
So would you have best practice guides available for members?
Very much so, yes. That is the intention that we want to build next is this is best practice. Here are some templates you can use.
Yes.
Here is some structure we can use just so that there's a little bit of uniformity and a little bit more standardization. I think a big part for me is there is no, I'm a senior producer. What makes you one?
Yep.
Who said, on what voting criteria have you now nominated yourself as senior producer? If you have not exceeded working in a budget more than 250,000 Rand, you're not a senior producer. That's not, when you've done a 23 million Rand job for multiple years in a row, okay, cool. Well, you've done it. You've proved your stripes. And that's where I think a lot of agencies or clients are hiring, thinking I'm hiring someone who understands what they're doing because they've labeled themselves as such, but there's no one to say, no, you don't have, yes, you've got 5 years of experience, but you don't actually have enough to qualify you for the role you're being replaced to. That's where I think there's that critical skills that's just getting slowly warped. And because we all operate in silos, no one's identifying that that's a problem.
And what has the response been from the community thus far in terms of empowerment and shaping their careers or their businesses through Events by Her?
Overwhelming. The response has been fantastic. Seeing the ladies engage on the group, ask for help, ask for support, get booked, it's absolutely incredible. We've had ladies asking for permanent staff members that I've then met with like 2 weeks later. She's like, oh, I've got 3 interviews set up out of the girls that have sent me messages from the group.
Wow.
So people are actually getting hired. Whether it's on a freelance basis or on a permanent basis, they're actually getting hired. Or I'm introduced to new companies I've never worked with before. I just ran an event now where I had someone who popped up in my world that I have not spoken to in years. She saw a post on LinkedIn and we connected and she's like, what is this? I want to be part of this. And I'm like, yes, indeed, come inside. And then I, again, invited her to the group. A couple months later, I posted I needed some help and support. She came on site and she helped and ran the job. I would never have even thought of her to run the job with me. And then in the chaos, I needed a stand builder. And she's like, well, so-and-so has left and she started her own thing. Do you want to use her?
Wow.
She has now more work from the technical company I was with where he was like, who's built that? Come, I introduce you. Send your number.
Wow.
All through one post on LinkedIn talking about Events by Her.
That's
That's one post.
Now, besides empowering people, empowering their businesses to grow and their careers to change as well, I'm sure there's lots of opportunity for mentorship on this journey through Events by Her, right? How do you see that mentorship and peer-to-peer support shaping women in this event space?
I think for me, I've always relied very heavily on the females in my world. And just in general, eventing is so unique. You need to have someone who you can go and be like, what does that mean? I don't know what that is. or Google, please help me. So I think mentorship is critical in improving everyone's world and how we operate. It's very necessary, not just from a training perspective, but then just to, like I said, I don't know what to do here, or I've struggled with this here, or, I really battled with this, and this, or where do I go get one of those, or how do I build one of these things? Having a mentor to be able to give you that guidance and give you that leadership advice, and having someone who's like, okay, well, when I did it 15 years ago, this is how we ran it. Well, this is the standard you should be pushing at.
Yep.
So very much necessary in terms of running mentorship in my eyes.
Do you think enough women are putting up their hands to say, I need help, I need a mentor?
No, we're awful at asking for help. I think we're very bad at asking. We'll sort of suffer through it in ourselves, and maybe there'll be a girlfriend or two we'll ask for. But
Too scared of looking.
I don't know. I should know. I mean, I've walked away from many site visits with like lists of being like, I don't know what that is. Technically, I don't know what that is. And I'm thirsty to. I hate being in the room and not knowing.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of girls are sort of just deciding, I just don't know. I'm just going to sort of suffer in silence. We just nod and smile. I'll figure it out later.
Yeah.
And it makes us poor as producers, because if I am armed with the information, I can ask the right questions. I can call nonsense when I need to call nonsense. And technical suppliers like, oh, you need this. No, we don't. No, we don't, because that's double the price.
Yes.
It gives you that much more power, that much more control. So yeah, I very much think growing mentorship and having the ladies support one another, and both for mentor and mentee.
Yes.
I think there's a lot of mentees that are potentially the younger generation that will very much rock our socks off in terms of the technology of the world and teaching you far more than you're going to teach them. It's an equal give and take relationship. Yeah. And I think there's something in, and maybe this isn't the right thing to say, but there's something in the male species that's very good at that mentorship because they're so comfortable at asking for help. It happens organically. With us, it requires a little bit more of a shove into mentorship. We'll have chats, but you cannot know that I'm struggling. You cannot know that I'm not okay. You cannot know that, I'm going to get through it, and I've got a sick kid at home and the other one's got a soccer tournament, and husband and I, like, you can't know any of that information because it's my core girlfriends. We're not going to talk about that sort of stuff. Whereas I think if we push ourselves into mentorship and we grow those relationships, one, it helps you as an individual, but it also means that the relationships that you have are that much stronger. Yeah. And it's one thing I love about events. And when you're on site, you trauma bond really fast. You are connected to one another almost instantly, to the point where it's almost like those sort of Hollywood movies where kids are leaving summer camp and they're in tears and they're like, I love you, my best friend forever. It's the same thing. Whereas you're walking off site and you've done nothing but see this person's face for multiple hours a day, for multiple days in a row. And I have many of my producers who will spend months planning an event, and then suddenly the event finishes, we don't speak to each other. Yes. And like 3 weeks later, we're like, hi, are you okay? Are you okay? I was in the middle of that drama with you, with your family, and then you just left me and I know nothing. So I think, forming those relationships and those bonds ultimately make us stronger as women.
It does.
Which is fantastic.
It really, really does. Now, I know you've had this big idea and you seeing it roll out, and creating a platform for so many different women with different roles in the industry. And what has been your biggest lesson that you've learned while creating this platform? I mean, so often what we put down on paper doesn't always work.
In real life. Yes,
being in this event space, we know that.
Yes.
The production plan might not go to an absolute T, but how has this impacted you with this platform?
I think a big part of what I wanted to do is constantly connect with the community. Am I building in a way that makes sense for you? Yes. It makes sense for me, but if you don't need this thing, I'm not going to go do it. Because I might be excited by it, but if I'm the only one that wants it, then that's not helpful. So I've been very cognizant of constantly checking in. Yes. Even before I officially launched Avenge by Her, we had a whole dinner where I had like 15 of my cool kind of girlies, where I'm like, I'm not embarrassed to say what I need to say here. I'm not going to be like, anyone's going to be like, oh, this girl doesn't know what she's doing. Yep. Just in terms of saying, this is the idea. Yep. Am I in the right ballpark? Is this something you want? Okay, that piece of it, no, get rid of it. We don't need it. Okay, cool, let's adjust. Okay, we'll tweak it. So I think the beauty of it, and even with the platform, and I don't have all the answers right now. I'm still very much, we're in build mode. We launched this year. We officially opened the platform in August.
Right.
And in a very short space of time, the uptake has been phenomenal. But we're learning as we go. And the more conversations I have, the more I'm like, oh, that's an idea I didn't think of. I didn't think of that could be either a problem or that could be an opportunity. How do we adjust it? So for me, very much tapping into what the ladies know and want. And I also think we're a busy bunch of individuals. Events is extremely hard work. I do not want to make something that is more effort for you.
Absolutely.
It needs to be easy. It needs to be simple. It needs to be something that's going to like give you want to make you have actual input into it. As opposed to something you have to then, oh, it's another thing I have to fill in. I've got enough things to fill in. I've got enough emails to respond to.
It's delightful to know that it's a flexible platform.
Yes.
You know, and that you're using the community to build it as well, because then we all get something that we all want.
Exactly. And it feels like it's yours.
Yes.
It doesn't feel like you're just joining it. It's, oh, that one idea was my idea.
Yes.
It's your ownership. It's yours. It's as much mine. I'm the facilitator. And I said this, we had a beautiful launch with all the ladies at the beginning of May. And we had 70 girls in the room. And I stood on stage, which is, again, not something I'm used to. Standing on stage is a very weird experience. And basically said to the ladies, I'm facilitating this. I created the group and I stepped back. I've sort of give community guidelines, but you run it, and you ran it exactly the way I thought you would. I didn't tell you how to do it. You just did what I knew you needed to solve for. You solved for it. So very much this is, I'm the facilitator. I'm leading you to it, but this is their platform. It's for them to make it how they want it. If they want this to work, they need to input into it.
So we know in this industry, there's women at all different stages,
Yes.
right? At an introductory level or extremely advanced, been in it for years. How do you ensure that the platform is able to support women at different levels of their career?
So I think we have a student level membership application. So from a student perspective, I've had a few interns come in and out of my world, and some I'm like, this is not the industry for you. You run fast. This is not going to work. Cut your nails, babes. It's not gonna translate. And others where, one comes to mind where she was just perfect. Doing things that I didn't even ask her to do. I sorted out all of the T-shirts in the cupboard for all of the crew members. They're labeled by shelf by size. Is that okay? Oh, you've made me wick at the knees. Yes, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. So I think very much so for me is mentorship is a big part of it. Making sure from each level of your career where you're sitting, and then access to the community. Like I said, the more people you're exposed to, the more you can grow. I made mention earlier of, one of the community members I sort of got in touch with randomly.
Yeah.
And her and I have known each other for many, many years. I'll even mention her name, Amelia Bard. She's the sort of genius behind Jazz Festival in Cape Town.
Oh.
So I was at CTICC for a number of years, and I sort of was her producer from a CTICC's perspective.
Right.
And I used to follow her around like a puppy, and just like a sponge. I was absorbing everything she was saying in fascination of how she'd like whip up everybody into this frenzy, and sitting at jock in front of this board, very professional looking, very in uniform, and Mrs. Bard, tell us, what is your evacuation plan? And she'd stand up and she'd deliver it and would be unwavering. That just being around her made me a better producer.
Yes.
Just being exposed to who she is and what she did made me a better producer. And I think it's on any level of seniority. What her and I just executed recently is not something she's used to doing. And she was reporting to me, which was very strange. Because I'm like, you're so much better at this than I am. And she said to me, you've taught me things.
Yes.
So someone in her experience, in her career, has able to learn from me after I've spent years learning from her. That's the beauty of it. So I think organically making sure everyone's covered from the top all the way up, it's going to happen. It's the connection that's already there. And because we're being exposed to
Absolutely.
that many more people, and we're grabbing that many more people, it's already going to happen. It's already, the groundswell of that, I think, is already going to take place.
Absolutely. And like you said, I mean, this industry is really dynamic.
It is.
There's so much change and so much of technology come in, and again, it's about learning from each other. And no matter how many years you've been in this industry for, there's always something to learn.
Yeah.
And there's always somebody
Yeah.
who can guide you and hold your hand along the way. And I
Yes.
love the fact that you can feel safe in this space.
Yeah. I'm always, when everyone's sort of, you're on site, you're like, oh, I've got a stupid question. It sounds silly, but there is no such thing as a stupid question, because ask it. My brain can only think of so many things, and I'm staring at an event that's got multiple facets to it. I might not have solved for everything. If you're like, that corner over there, who's supplying power to that moment? Oh, I don't know. For example, I just did an event on Saturday where the registration lady is like, where's power? And I'm like, oh no, I totally forgot about power. I'm so sorry. Give me 20 minutes and we'll organize for you. Technical guys. So I think ask your questions.
Absolutely.
Ask your questions. There's no stupid questions. The more we learn, the better we are.
Now, you've been running your agency,
Yes.
right? And that can be really demanding with
It
client
can
work,
be, yes.
I'm sure. And at the same time, you've got this passion project going on the side. So, different kind of energy. How do you balance these two, the commercial demands of 144 Collective and the purpose-driven work of Events by Her?
I'll let you know when I figure it out. I think for me, this is very much, we're in the throes of it.
Yes.
And I'm loving the process. I've always described events, and why I love what I do is give me like a mangled ball of like wool kind of thing. And I want to unpick it and then make it, and then I give it back to you.
Right.
And that's very much how I see an event being, is I've taken this mangled thing and I've unpicked it, and I'm currently in the mangled stage where I don't have all the answers.
Right.
And I'll be upfront with that. I don't have all the answers. I have many events by Her girls that are currently on unread on WhatsApp where I'm like, I'm on site, right?
I'll get it.
And then I'm like, okay, events by Her, let's do events by Her. And I'm like, ooh, work, actual work, paying work. I need to concentrate on pay. So it's very much a juggle. But what's so fun about it is I adore both. So I'm happy to give of my time for both. And I'm excited to see where both will go. And sometimes Events by Her becomes the slightly more favorite child because I love it so much. And it's so exciting to see the potential behind it and the enthusiasm from the ladies behind it. It makes it even that much more rewarding. Events is fantastic, but it's grueling. It's a lot of work.
That is true. But
it's
the
intense.
one is feeding the other at the
Yes,
same time.
very much so.
Because it's a stress reliever, I'm sure,
Yes,
to
yeah.
have a light giggle sometimes. But
Yeah.
also when you're desperate to find that supplier, that person that can help you along the way, you have a whole portal of women that are there for you, right?
100%. And it's amazing how quickly your problem is solved.
That's especially in this space.
Especially in
that's
this
a
space,
blessing.
because time is not on our side.
No.
Suppliers and clients and deadlines are not on our side. Budgets are not on our side. And being able to say to someone, I know we had a senior producer was in panic stations. She posted on the group, I'm looking for a senior producer. I've just been dropped. I need someone to start tomorrow. Like, she's clearly not having a good day. And I think I was in a meeting and I sort of saw the message, and then like about an hour later I messaged her and I was like, I can ask more questions for you. Like, let me keep probing. No, the role's been filled. I found my person. Within an hour. Done.
Wow.
Starting the next day. Done, dusted. I don't know of any other examples where that happens.
Nope.
Which is quite fantastic. So it's those moments where it's instantaneous that you have a soul for it. Immediately it's,
Brilliant.
oh, I didn't even think of this thing. I need this thing. Oh, okay, let me just see if they have that. Someone might have this answer. And because we're so weird in who we know, because we've been asked to do such bizarre things by clients, and we all know this, we have a weird black book of things.
Yes.
You're going to have someone who knows. Or if you're in a new city, suddenly I'm not usually in Cape Town, and I need a draping supplier, and I don't know who to call for a draping supplier. Who do I go to? What do I do? Someone in the group will help you. And that's why, again, to grow that network, everyone needs to be in it, because it makes us that more powerful.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to sort of say, I have my piece of it. And I say this quite often, but our industry is and I think this comes from in part a male thought process and just by nature of business, we keep it very close to the chest. We're very nervous on sharing. I don't function like that in general. I'm very open. I will happily, here's my budget template. If it helps, please let it help you. Almost to a detriment of I'll give it away kind of thing. But for me there's enough of the pie to go around. And instead of keeping your massive chunk of the pie, it will improve everyone's world if we all have a piece. We're all infinitely better if we're all contributing to the industry and growing within the industry. There's enough to go around. We don't need to hoard our little corner of the world and be like, it's mine, no touching. It's yours to have if you go and you ask for it, if you share, if you're not worried of, as a producer, I can't be on the show right now, but I can recommend for you 20 girls that are absolutely fantastic. And if you don't come back to me next year, that's okay, because I'm pretty sure they will recommend me for something else.
Yeah.
It pays it way forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, we all know that the future of events in Africa depends on how boldly we innovate, right?
Yes.
And how inclusively we build. And both of which are very much at the heart of your ideas.
Very much
right?
so. Yeah.
So what is your vision for the future of Events by Her in the years ahead?
My vision is, let's take it global. Why can't we?
How delightful.
How delightful.
Wow.
I love the idea, and at Festival of Eventing, I was on the panel with ladies from Botswana and Zimbabwe, and even sitting on the panel, they sort of lean forward and they're like, I also want to be in. Yes, please, we want you in. That's absolutely fantastic. So my vision of,
Brilliant.
hi, girls, I'm flying to Botswana and I've never done a job there. Where do I go? Who do I call? Who do Okay, here's someone on the ground that you know you can trust, that has come recommended, who can say, that supplier, don't use them. Nonsense. They're going to tell you stories. This is the best one to use. Or I'm flying to France or Rome and I need to run an event and I don't know, where do I go? How do you get printing suppliers? Where are my photographers? Where do I find decor suppliers? It's instantly solved for you. That will be sort of my nirvana of Events by Her.
That is delightful. I think, it's like an event resource in your pocket at any point in time.
Yeah.
I mean, we go to events and it's always delightful when you get to go to events where you can network.
Yes.
And you discover somebody, like going to Festival of Events, right?
Yes.
I found such wonderful gems there that that I have access to. So having that little pocketbook of these kind of people, which are few. I mean, because you only really connect with a handful of people properly at an event. You take lots of cards, but sometimes you
doesn't
forget.
necessarily translate, and then you look at a card and you're like, who is this person?
What do they do again?
What do they did I like them?
Yes.
100%.
So this sounds just so delightful in terms of having it in your hand and having easy access at any point in time, because there's so much going on in our worlds.
Correct.
So it's really, really wonderful. Now, as we close up our conversation, as delightful as this has been, for those of our listeners that are so keen to join this platform, if you could give us 3 things that they would absolutely benefit from immediately by joining this platform, what would that be?
3 things. Okay. Your community will instantly grow, pretty much instantaneously, because you'll be added to the group. You're already there. Your connection in terms of the in-person event side of things, which will be starting to kick off in the next couple of weeks. Obviously, it's silly season, so we're not going to do anything now because nobody has the time. But that in-person connection, I think, is going to be a massive benefit. And then the benefit to see how you grow as an individual, how you're going to learn, how you're going to improve, what's going to come from that, and therefore how much better it will make you as for whatever it is that you do. Whether you're an event producer, whether you're in decor and styling, whether you're in print, is there something you can learn from? And we can all teach each other something. How will you grow? How will you learn? I think those 3 are kind of the key benefits in my eyes from Events by Her.
Wonderful. And how do they find you? How do they connect? How do they sign up?
All right. So from a sign-up perspective, it's all via the website. It's very simple. You just go to eventsbyherlive.com. It will be there. You can click on it. You can have a read-through membership. Like I said, we have two offerings, whether it's from an individual perspective or for a corporate. For a corporate, you're welcome to send me an email. And if I want your whole team there.
Yeah.
It's not so much, oh, but there's this. And no, give me, how many girls do you have? We will talk on the side. We will get them in. I want them there.
Wonderful.
Because I think, again, from the top down, we're all asking the same things. We're all needing to solve for the same problems. It's not just the boss that's sort of going, oh, I need this in. And I think whether you're sitting in a corporate world and you're running an event, or you're sitting in an agency, or you're sitting as a freelancer, or you're sitting in a catering department, you still qualify. You still need help. You still need your community. You still need to find your tribe. And this is what this is.
Delightful.
Yeah.
Tamsin, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank
we
you.
really, really appreciate this.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Truly inspiring conversation, of course. I think I've learned so much and I can't wait to sign up. I can't wait to get on there. It's going to make my life and my team's lives
Yay.
so much easier and the rest of my circle as well. So be prepared. We always think that your journey is waterproof, when it comes to creativity and purpose. But when you bring community together, it's just able to help uplift that creativity and the purpose that you're trying to drive through your events and how to help you transform those events and the lives of the people as well that
Ultimately.
our audiences that attend the event. So I think it's truly, truly helpful and beneficial. And finally, I'm so glad that somebody has taken this concept and brought it to fruition to all our benefits. So really, really, really delighted that we have you in our lives.
Yay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So to all of you that's joined us on Africa Event Connect podcast, if you've enjoyed this and you know of a friend that's going to benefit, a colleague, please get them to subscribe, share this podcast with them, help them to join the community as well at Events by Her, where and this podcast is constantly spotlighting people like Tamsin who have the brightest ideas, the brightest people, bringing them together, the brightest innovations to shape our events industry. I'm your host and producer, Projeni Pather, and I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, keep creating with purpose.